Hi there, this is Megan Van Petten, and I'm your host of Esports Connected Live, coming to you from on the road. Sit back and let me take the wheel and get you in touch with esports leading minds, bringing you the gold with lively interviews and insights that get you thinking. Come on, let's get connected. Welcome everyone to Esports Connected Live from Power in South Bend with my co-host, Brandon Brunhammer. Today we have a great guest with us, Monica Miller. She's actually a consultant and a creator. She helps design and create spaces for esports. Monica, hello, welcome.
Hello, happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me to be on. I do build some spaces. I've built for St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania College of Art and Design in Lancaster, PA, and right now I'm working with a client to build a community space to in Philadelphia to help keep the kids off the streets and doing something for them. So we're building a gaming space in North Philly. So yeah.
So how did you get involved in the design and creation aspect of, what an esports should look like from a consultant perspective?
Yeah, sure. So lifelong gamer myself, started playing with PS1 was my first console ever, Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot, upgraded to PC and then loved PC gaming ever since. How I landed into the esports consulting side was kind of like right place at the right time kind of situation. I was working as an admission counselor at St. Joseph's University. Wasn't sure if admission counseling was the route for me, and also didn't know much about the community, so I reached out to student affairs and was like, hey, do you guys have like gamers on campus? I had just built a new computer for myself and I was like, I need people to play with. So I reached out to Student Affairs. They had a club, and it turns out the students really didn't have like money to even like get pizza to like hang out. So we put on a VR event for finals week just to decompress. Brought in my Oculus Rift for the students to use, and they just came in and would play like Beat Saber. Again, right place at the right time. Someone came by and was like, what is this? I explained what it is, and then all of a sudden I was in meetings with the athletic director and like the VP of enrollment, and I was like, trying to explain video games and esports and the value of it to them, and then they were like, we want you to help us build a space. And I was like, okay. And then I did that, helped them build a space. We put about 24 units into the room. I realized this is pretty cool. This is how I think I can like work in the gaming industry. It was always a dream of mine when I was playing games, like how do I get involved as a job? And ended up quitting my job as an admission counselor and went on the independent consulting side and built my own thing, I guess. So yeah.
Very cool. So I guess some of the questions I have from a technology perspective. So you're speccing all of like the equipment, you're speccing the lighting applications, and just kind of essentially the atmosphere to get in the mood of what an esports lab should look like. Plus, now are you doing just PC console? Are you doing console gaming? Are you doing PC gaming? Or are you doing a mixture of both? Like what does that look like for you?
So mostly just PC gaming. It depends on the budget of who I'm working with. Sometimes there's only enough in the budget to get the equipment on site, as it can be pretty expensive. But at St. Joseph's University, we got colored sound panels, colored desks, and then all the equipment, of course. We had a smart board at both sides of the classroom so that they could, go on and like circle their plays and do all that kind of thing. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
This has been really up and coming. I've been getting a lot of calls from different universities, student centers. Think of it like the libraries when I was in college, right? People want these centers. And what is a starter budget for just the basics? What's the starter size? What's the starter budget?
Yeah, so it really depends on how many units, and I would definitely recommend no fewer than 6 units, so you can have a full team, whether it's 5 or 6, depending on the game. And each unit it also depends on the games you want to play too, because the computers will run different games depending on what specs are inside of them. But a station at the mid to high level would probably be about $3,000 per station, including your peripherals, your monitor, your keyboard, your mouse pad, your headsets, all the equipment that gamers need to succeed. So about $3,000 per unit right now. I know the world of like graphics cards is a little funky at the moment, but that's pretty much where it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can start as low as, would you say 30,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Total.
So, from our perspective, from my perspective, we do a lot in the higher education application as well. Designing for more so universities in the current moment. So like utilizing direct view LED, being able to stream to like their student union buildings and stuff like that. From those different kinds of perspectives and just like technology pathways, is that something that you work directly with, creating those, what those pathways look like? Do you work with other individuals? What does that look like for you?
So it's definitely a collaborative experience between a lot of departments. At St. Joseph's University, we had IT department, we had student affairs, we had admissions, we had a bunch of people at the table trying to outline the goals of the program. It really depends on what the institution wants to do with the program. Sometimes they'd just like to have like a really good esports team, a good community, somewhere for the kids to really unwind, because play is such an important part of like the human experience. And we all get bogged down during finals, stressful times, so being able to provide that sort of outlet is super important. Sometimes that's the core of it. Sometimes they would like to develop curriculum around that, like an esports program or some sort of training program. So it really depends on the institution's goals with the program, and we work together to iron that out among a group of people on campus.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, what kind of trends are you seeing? Like, what are we gonna see next year? What are we gonna see, 1 to 5 years? Because we all know what people are right now. People are, where do we go? What do we do? What's the basics? What's the starter kit? So we're kind of past that. We're in that, right?
So I definitely see most colleges and universities buying into this at some point and having the space available. As for me, the passion really comes from like, what did I not have as a college student, as a high school student, that would have like really helped me find a community and find a group of people. So I think it really just comes down to that, is just the community building opportunity. So.
Yeah, I think one of the big things for like us when clients come to us is the educational perspective. When you're talking about all of the different things and how you were in gaming, but yet you also wanted to be in the industry. I think one of the biggest things that I try and strive to deliver from an educational perspective is that there's so much more in the esports world beyond just the game. And one of the cool things is you're taking that opportunity, still being involved in the industry, but you're taking a different perspective and a different route, which I think is awesome. One of the cool things that we get to work with, typically with different universities or high schools, when they come to us and they sit there and talk to us about, I'm just the sponsor and I have no idea what esports looks like. So kind of tell me about how that works for you and explaining what an esports program looks like to someone who may not necessarily know anything about it.
Excellent question. And this is definitely probably the most challenging part of the job, is acting as a translator between gamers and non-gamers and being able to communicate the value of games. I recently wrote a chapter in a research book, Esports and its integration into education, where I talked about how you can learn soft skills intrinsically through games. So that's where I really hit the heart, is at the soft skills. Like, without video games, I definitely wouldn't be as good of a writer as I am, good of a communicator. I developed so many soft skills through gaming, so I use that as like my in to communicate and explain how, like, you have 6 different people working together at the same time, virtually and sometimes in person, having to like make micro decisions and work together in a seamless environment, because like the games happen so quickly and you need to be able to be beyond that. So just pretty much explaining the value from the soft skills perspective and what students can really learn from it.
Well, it's been a great segment. I always say people that play together stay together. So thank you for sharing what we're really here about, and that's finding some minutes to play and enjoy ourselves and have these students relieve some stress, especially during their stressful times. What about you, Brandon? What do you say?
Yeah, no, I greatly appreciate your input. It's awesome to discuss this with someone else, just being able to convey the importance of the educational application and just what that looks like. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.